My boss accidentally sent me an email meant for HR about my situation, but they had no idea I'd already recorded everything. It started 3 months ago when I was promoted to lead the Johnson account, our biggest client. Marcus, my boss, seemed thrilled at first. "You're exactly what this company needs," he said, shaking my hand in his corner office. Fresh perspective, innovative thinking. What he didn't say was that I was also the first Black woman to hold this position in the company's 40-year history. The problems began immediately. Marcus would accidentally exclude me from client meetings, then act surprised when I mentioned missing key information. He'd schedule important calls during my lunch breaks and express disappointment when I couldn't attend. When I suggested process improvements that saved us $50,000, he presented them to the board as his own ideas. The worst part? He did it all with that patronizing smile. "I'm just trying to protect you," he'd say whenever I questioned being left out. "These clients can be difficult. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed." 2 weeks ago, I'd had enough. During our weekly one-on-one, I brought up the pattern of exclusion. Marcus leaned back in his chair, that familiar condescending expression spreading across his face. "I think you're being a bit sensitive," he said. "Maybe you're not ready for this level of responsibility." I pulled out my phone and started recording. "What do you mean by sensitive?" I asked. He shifted uncomfortably. "Look, I hired you because of your qualifications, not because of, well, you know. But sometimes diversity hires struggle with the adjustment." There it was, out loud, on recording. "Diversity hire?" I repeated calmly. "I mean, that's not what He backpedaled frantically. "I just think maybe you'd be happier in a support role. Less pressure." I smiled and kept recording as he dug himself deeper. Yesterday morning, my phone buzzed with an email notification. The subject line read, "Ari, the Thompson situation. Confidential." My stomach dropped. Thompson is my last name. The email was clearly meant for Sarah in HR. "Sarah, we need to discuss the Thompson situation before it becomes a bigger problem. She's been increasingly difficult since the promotion, questioning my decisions, making unreasonable demands for inclusion in meetings. I think we made a mistake. I've been documenting her attitude issues to build a case. Can we schedule a meeting to discuss transitioning her back to her previous role? We need to frame this carefully to avoid any complications. The client presentation next week would be perfect timing. If she messes it up, which I doubt she'll handle the pressure, we'll have grounds for demotion. M." I screenshot the email, then forwarded it to my personal account before Marcus realized his mistake. 20 minutes later, he called me into his office, face flushed. "I need to discuss something with you," he said, avoiding eye contact. "There might have been a miscommunication earlier." "About the email you sent me by mistake?" I asked innocently. His face went white. "That was taken out of context. I was just planning to sabotage my presentation and demote me." I pulled out my phone. "The same way you've been excluding me from meetings and stealing my ideas?" "I don't know what you think you heard." I hit play on the recording from our previous meeting. His voice filled the room. "Sometimes diversity hires struggle with the adjustment." Marcus lunged for my phone, but I pulled it back. "That's not the only recording I have," I said calmly. He collapsed into his chair. "What do you want?" "Nothing you can give me." I walked straight to HR with my evidence. Sarah's eyes widened as she read Marcus's email and listened to the recordings. By afternoon, Marcus was called into an emergency meeting with the executives. The next morning, I found a new nameplate on the corner office door. Director of Client Relations, at Thompson. Marcus was transferred to our branch office in Montana. A lateral move, according to the company announcement. Last week, I successfully presented the Johnson account expansion that increased their contract value by 40%. The client specifically requested to continue working with me. Yesterday, I got a LinkedIn message from Marcus's replacement at the Montana office. "Thank you for the heads up about his management style. We were prepared. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people reveal who they really are."